Welcome back to Live for Love TV. Today's the 30th day, the 10th month, 22nd year inside the 21st century. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I hope the windiness today doesn't come too much over the microphone so you're not able to hear me. But we're going to persevere and see how it goes. Now, I've told you before, I've spoken before about wealth and wealth generation. And I want everybody to be wealthy. I want everyone to be rich. I want everyone to have an abundance of everything that they could possibly desire. But I also want people to know that I truly accept that anybody that can see this and hear this, and anybody that's observing this right now, is rich already. It's really an illusion to think that lots of cars or lots of money or lots of things make you, rich in your feeling, makes you feel rich. That's an illusion. We're seeing this right now on the world stage with Kanye West, as you can see the kind of turmoil he's going through, and he's got bags and bags of money still to this day, but the turmoil isn't probably making him feel quite poor at the moment. But anyway, the reason why I mention it today in the wealth is because I want people to get stuff, get money, get as much as you can possibly gain, because it's your spiritual right to have these things, to have these possessions around you, to have all these possessions. But the difficulty is to own things or to have things and not have those things own you and possess you. Now that's the difficulty. That's the spiritual person who will understand what I'm saying. Because you own a house, but the truth is, more often than not, the house owns you. You'll find that even when you've paid down the mortgage and you've paid everything off on the house, there may be something you need to do around the world, and you just can't leave, because you can't leave your house just like that, can you? Because the house has got you. The house is like an albatross around your neck, even though you've paid it off. And that's the same for any possessions we have. The spiritually minded person will understand that you cannot be possessed by anything that you've come to find in this universe, in this planet, and at this time where you are, in this dimension, whatever you want to call it. You cannot be possessed by it. And if you are, and if you're held by it, then you really haven't developed into a proper spiritual being. Why do I say this? Because this is why I promote wealth, I promote money, I promote people getting all the trinkets they want, but I don't promote them being possessed by them. If you look in the Gospels, for instance, we can talk about that, because I like reading. So regardless of whether I read material, whether it's the Quran or the Bible or wherever, or the Bhagavad Gita, I can talk about it because I like reading. And if you look in the Gospels in Matthew 19, starting from verse 16, you'll see there's a young man that comes to Jesus Christ, and he wants eternal life. And Christ basically reads off the 10 Commandments to him and said, well, make sure you do all these things. And the young man turns to him and says, I've been doing all these things since my youth. Now Christ looks at him, and it's quite clear. Christ realizes this man's not free. If he's been doing all these things all his life, why is he still asking me for eternal life? Why is he still not feeling free and feeling that he's succeeded? So Christ says, give up all your possessions and follow me. Because he knows that the young man is possessed by his possessions. And when the young man realized giving up his possessions, which was his identity, he went away, and he went away very sadly. That's a simple story to explain what I was saying earlier, that if you have stuff but you're possessed by that stuff, you're trapped. And if you're trapped, you're not free. And if you're not free, you're never going to be happy. As simple as that. Doesn't matter how much stuff you have. The Buddha realized this. The Buddha went under an aesthetic life for about 6 years and owned nothing. So eventually he came up with the concept of non-attachment. It took him a long time to get to the understanding. They say under a particular tree, he got to the understanding that it's all right to have stuff, but don't be attached by it. You find a lot of these people who we call aesthetics or monks or whatever, that's what they go through their life, because they know that possessions are what gets you. If you're possessed by something, that's what takes you off your path. So you don't have to go into the wilderness, you don't have to go into the Sahara Desert or some wilderness place where there is nothing, so you have nothing. Because I think that kind of spirituality is okay for those people who want to live that monk type of life. But what happens when you come back into the everyday life? Will you be possessed by something? Will you be possessed by a person? Will you be possessed by your partner? Will you be possessed by the stuff that you now acquire? when you don't put yourself to the test by going into the wilderness and having nothing, you really don't know that. You haven't developed that skill. So that's why I'm talking about it today, is that every day that I promote wealth, and you're seeing it with the stock market now. The stock markets, they claim are going to start going down quicker and quicker and quicker, and they're going to crash. And they've been saying this for months, maybe over a year, and it may happen. It may happen overnight. And some of you watching this will say, "Well, why should I worry? I'm not rich. I don't have, I don't have stocks and shares, and I don't have bonds and treasury bills. Why should I care?" The problem is that if you're working or you're getting benefits or anything like that, you've got a pension, it's connected to this very same people. You see, the rich people control the world through their stocks and shares and the markets. And when they start to feel it, they put that pressure on those people who are beneath them, because they're the ones who you're either working for them or getting benefits for them, or you've tied up your money in the banking system, which is also under their control. So you can't just shrug it off and say, well, I haven't got any stocks or shares, so it's not going to affect me. It's going to affect you probably more than anybody else, because you have nothing. Most of us have nothing set aside other than our jobs, other than our little savings in a bank or whatever little money we have, or the equity we think we have on our houses. So we've got to keep an eye on these things. But like I said already, when you get to that point where you realize that you are wealthy, if you've ever been in a position where you can't walk across your front room without pain, and you pray for the day when you can walk down the street without pain, you'll know that being able to go from one state to another is as much wealth as you'll ever need in your life. The same as if you lose your eyesight and then you regain your eyesight. You're going to realize how rich you really are now that you've regained your eyesight. It's sad that we human beings have to go through terrible things and terrible times for us to realize that we are wealthy already. We are rich already. And all the trinkets in the world may make us look rich to other people, but not necessarily feel rich within ourselves. As I was saying earlier, with a lot of these celebrities that you're seeing now, it doesn't take much for them to come back down. And as they come back down with all the stuff they had down to the levels that probably a lot of you are on, they feel terrible. They feel suicidal. They feel like they've been embarrassed and they're depressed. Why are they depressed? Why would they be depressed? If you're not depressed on the amount of money you're earning, and now they've come down to your level and they're depressed, it means they thought at one point that they were better than you, and they don't want to be on your level. That's very, very sad for anybody to put themselves into that level of attachment and possession. But anyway, take care. A subject we're always going to revisit, because it's a multifactorial, or, well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's a big subject. It's a big, big subject. It runs right across the board. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to have bags of money. Late Tupac talked about fortune and fame, and he sung it. And he was talking about everybody wants fortune and fame and all this. Well, whatever. But the truth is, you're already fortunate. You already have a lot of fortune, whether you realize it or not. And really, what is fame? What is fame? I don't know what people call fame. You're famous. The fact that your creator, the universe, that you're known by somebody powerful, or by the power of this universe, should make you know that you're as famous as any man can ever be. Take care. Live for Love TV.
This is Live for Love TV. Live for Love TV. Yes, I am.
One step more. One step more. Until you reach your goals. One step more. Save them soul. One step more. One step more. How good it is to reach the
Live for Love TV. This is Live for Love TV.